Since my channel has recently hit 10k subs, I figured now would be a great time to do what everyone else has been suggesting this whole time. What the f- Yeah, I didn't want to start this game because I truly am terrified with nuns. Fun little Docco lore though, and this goes way back when I was a small child. Me and my cousin thought it would be a great idea to break into the back of the church right next to our house at around 7 or 8 p.m. As I was walking down this little corridor, the only light source this place had were candles and a poorly lit light bulb. And an old nun happened to see me there, telling me that I couldn't be there. And I couldn't really see that clearly to begin with, so her popping in behind me actually made me my pants. So the only thing my kitty brain could think of was to run. I ran into a bunch of corridors, getting darker and darker, which I eventually ended up in front of a door that was locked. I looked back and this nun, obviously was already too old to run, was just slowly walking towards me, not saying a word. And the only thing I could remember was just having a breakdown, where all I could do was have my butt fall down as I started screaming and crying. And at the time, it felt like I was crying for hours until she finally reached to me and just gave me this stare of disappointment. But with the poor lighting, I could only see some of her face, but for some reason, the candlelight was hitting her eyes just right where she literally looked like that nun from that one movie. So yeah, there's a reason I am terrified of nuns, and absolutely terrified of them. But I just reached a new milestone, and I guess now was the time to finally play this cursed game. So I got my first trophy for turning off jump scares and setting the nun's volume to 0 in the settings. But if I set the nun's volume to 0 and then basically do that, I got a trophy. I'm too scared is to turn off the jump scares and set the nun's volume to 0. To make this more interesting, I wanted to see if I could pull this off starting on extreme difficulty. But before anything else, I had to play the prologue first, which I'll get a couple trophies for. And this is for dying in the prologue and for dying for the first time. It's a wheelchair. A lone wheelchair. Oh! Trophy! Afraid of heights. Died during the introduction. Oh, trophy again. Die for the first time. Me, being the impatient that I am, I decided to skip the prologue and head straight to the action. And this is when I found out fast what was so extreme about extreme. Hello? What? It turns out that everything is pitch black on extreme, and I couldn't even get out the first area of the game. So I ended up just turning the game down a notch and went for hard, which I was then told that I needed to finish the prologue for a trophy, so that's what I ended up doing first. Oh, let's try this trophy. We can do it in like one day, bro. Trophy. Now that I'm playing on hard mode, I could finally see where I was going, and now I can finally get this dub.
I can see!
I can fight!
The next trophy I got is called Dear Diary. In the game, it was implied that Miss McDonald, aka the player, was supposed to pick up her daughter from her boarding school. As I was cautiously pissing on my underwear, hoping that the nun wouldn't hear the sprinkles of fear I left behind in every corners of the hall, I ended up finding a lot of notes from McDonald's daughter, Janie. And reading up on them would eventually tell me on what actually went down in this messed up Catholic boarding school. I did end up getting lost a couple times, which eventually got me killed.
Whoa, what the fuck? Ow! Ow!
My ears is gone, dude. Literally shortly after that, she got me again, but at least this time I was already sitting on the toilet, so technically I didn't really shit my pants here.
What the fuck?
With one life left, my hard playthrough was proving to be quite the challenge. After penguin walking from one room to the next because of all the poop in my pants, I did end up finding a total of 6 notes. Oh, trophy. Dear Diary. And here I thought I was doing a lot of progress, but unfortunately, finding the notes on the floor doesn't really mean anything in terms of progression. Which the nun unfortunately found me again, ending my run. I have to go upstairs. And this death toll would only continue as I fall into a barbed wire pit and would get condemned by the nun via slapping me straight to hell. Wait, what? Why did she just slap me? She was like, "You got stuck in my trap." Bah, bah. But not all was bad, because progression was made when I finally figured out how to stop the exhaust fans in the vent. This would get me Spelunker for climbing through the vent exhaust fan. Oh, trophy. Spelunker. Past the fan is where I eventually found a screwdriver. I then used the screwdriver to remove the rails from the vent, which I accidentally got another bad ending for. Paperclip. I'm stuck. Aye. Oh my gosh. Blood of Christ. Jesus. Trophy. And going past that area, I kept going straight for a hot minute and got another bad ending for getting stuck in the vents. Claustrophobia. Get stuck in the vents. For 7 offerings, I had to break the scale that was found in the kitchen. To break the scale, there are multiple mannequin body parts scattered around the map. Fortunately, there were only 3 that were scattered, and the other 4 were already next to the scale. Yeah, this should break it. Trophy. 7 offerings, break the scale. Breaking this scale would drop a gear, but at the time I didn't see the drop, so I actually just dipped and continued to wander somewhere else. I then would find a hammer in this lobby thing, which I would use to pry open the barricaded door, only to find drain cleaner. But now it was time to venture towards the bathrooms and see where I could potentially use this. Going down the lower bathroom area, I found myself a hex key, which I then used to pick the lock on the only door in the entire game where I could lockpick at. But doing this would grab me 2 trophies for breaking a lockpick and successfully picking a lock. Trophy. Frustration, break a lockpick. Trophy. Successfully pick a lock. Inside the room is a grandfather clock that's dead. Behind the clock is a spot for a missing gear, and not gonna lie, I was completely lost. So I was forced to Google on how to fix the clock since I have been running around mindlessly for an hour. And I run back down to the scale and grab the gear from behind it, and I put that bad boy in the clock, and now I had to figure out what time to put it in. So I just kept spinning that thing until it stopped. Unfortunately, I am once again lost because I had no idea what I just did. After intensely Googling once again, it turns out that a wall in the kitchen had opened up after ringing the clock. Because who could have gotten that in their first run? So I go through this ominous way through the kitchen and I ended up in a school. This is also where I would read my last note. Trophy. Mother Apollonia, read all notes across multiple playthroughs. Hell yeah. And lastly, I would need to find and light 2 candles, and this would get me the statue head, where I would then run as fast as humanly possible to the graveyard, reuniting the head to the body, and now I just had to lay down the coffin and close it, and this would get me the normal ending. Yeah. Cool. That's what I'm talking about. Trophy. For Bongo the Clown, I would need to put a VHS tape in a VCR for the first time. Trophy. Bongo the Clown. Which I would need to do anyways to get the best ending in the game. To get the best ending, I had to find a total of 4 VHS tapes across the building. There are 3 in the main building and 1 in the school area. After the last VHS is played, a cross would then fall next to it. So I grabbed the cross and traveled through the vents where I ended up in this room where I had to use the cross to climb this wall. And this should be the ending here, I think. What the hell? I just floated. Cool. On top of the wall is a small nun and a life-sized Bongo the Clown. In front of Bongo is a gas canister, so without any questions, I pour the gas on this suspiciously looking nun that looks like a child and burn her alive. This would cause the clown to forgive me for some reason and finally getting the good ending of the game. trophy. After looking up a wiki to explain on what the story meant, apparently the mother sent Janie to a Catholic boarding school where she was abused by the nun. So bad that she decided to go to heaven instead. She pulled me into her office and made me take off my uniform. She hit me all over my body with the ruler. My skin is purple and my hair is gone. God damn. This whole compound looked abandoned, and that's because it is abandoned. Apparently the mother went back there due to guilt, because it was her fault that this all happened. And the nun in the game is pretty much her inner demons, I guess, which is why the nun has a weird baby mask like Dollface from Twisted Metal. But these were just theories of what other people think happened. I think it's a solid theory, except for the best ending scene, where I think the mother was so focused on the nuns that she ended up finally finding her child, only to burn her into crispy tenders with a side of fries and a large root beer. But that's just what I think anyway. Going back to our run, you guys might have wondered why the nun was nowhere to be found throughout this entire journey. And that's because I'm a meow. Also because the game is really hard. Like this dude on PSNP who made this guide said the game is a 2 out of 10. If you're a gaming prodigy, maybe, but I have suffered on the runs that I'm about to show, so kindly tell me where the 2 out of 10 came from. And this is for beating the game on extreme. Since the difficulty trophy stack, I didn't even bother going for any other difficulties just to end this butt-clenching experience. And this is pretty much how my runs went. What the fuck? I will not succumb to the cheesy methods yet. No, sir, we are doing this legitimately. As legitimate as apple pie. Yes, sir. What the fuck? Like, it's too quiet and then she just shows up out of nowhere, dude. Like a Randy Orton. What the f- What is she doing there, bro? Apparently there is a glitch that you can do to finish the game in like 10 minutes, where you cut the wire, go through the vent, grab a toilet lid, and spam jump off the map and look for the casket underneath the map and finish the game. But I'm not doing that because I am a professional gamer that doesn't need cheesy methods to finish difficult games. Nah, I'm just kidding. I love Public Combo, man, and I consider myself a pretty hardcore fan, but this game and this nun. But this method isn't really a walk in the park either. From getting caught by the nun early on, to falling off the map, this one took me a couple of attempts to pull off. Oh my god, let's go. Oh, it's finally over.
Let's go!
Let's go easy. Of course it's easy. I cheesed it. One on medium.
Yeah!
Yeah. On hard. On extreme. And finally, for payback, I had to shoot the nun with the revolver. But after grabbing this trophy, that's the plat. Whoa, hi. Wait. Ow! Help! Wait! Please! Let's talk about this. You don't have to do this. Is this... No. Wait! Whoa! Whoa! Yeah. Oh! Oh, yes. We're nun hunting today, boys. The nun's gonna see me. She's like, oh my god, she's got the 9. I'm out of here. Give me my plot, girl. She's spooked. What the fuck? Ow, mother. Ow! Oh! Payback trophy. I freaking busted her full of lead. With Nun Massacre done and dusted, I just want to say thank you again for the 10k. I really am not a fan of the run and hide genre in horror games, but maybe in 20k subs, I'll do another one of these types of games. And maybe I won't even be able to cheese my way out of it this time. But that was a video, and as always, I stream all of my runs on Twitch live, and since I make videos for every game I plat, if you see me streaming a game, that's definitely gonna be a video. Anyways, as always guys, keep it real, but not too real, cause that's just boring. And I hope everyone has a phenomenal day. Trophy!